Imagine constructing some of the world's largest structures without using a single drop of diesel. No tower cranes to hoist girders, no electric saws to cut through granite, no hydraulic lifts. Across the Indian subcontinent, ancient rulers commissioned projects of staggering scale, stone monuments reaching toward the sky to serve as permanent sanctuaries. Some of these complexes weren't constructed from the ground up. They were carved entirely downward out of solid mountainsides, turning raw bedrock into freestanding architecture. Where temples were built block by block, builders quarried massive slabs of granite and basalt. Many of these individual stones weigh several tons each, yet they perfectly aligned these massive weights to create stable, sprawling pavilions. There were no modern laser levels guiding their hands, and in many cases, absolutely no mortar holding the joints together. Sculptors approached these walls as canvases, carving geometric lattice windows and intricate figures directly into the hard basalt. When you combine this immense weight, flawless geometric alignment, and microscopic detail, you have to ask how human hands alone altered the Earth on this scale. The answer doesn't require lost magic or extraterrestrial intervention. Archaeologists and engineers have analyzed the remaining evidence, and the solution comes down to applied physics. To move extraordinary weight vertically, ancient engineers relied on the mechanical advantage of the inclined plane. By building massive ramps of compacted earth, they drastically reduced the force required to lift a stone. To conquer the friction of dragging rough stone over the ground, they placed thick wooden logs beneath the blocks to act as cylindrical rollers, while heavy rope and pulley systems guided the trajectory. Even with rollers and ramps, the sheer mass required hundreds of workers hauling these ropes in absolute unison, distributing the tonnage across a massive human workforce. For the temples carved directly out of the mountainsides, the challenge was subtractive. Artisans trenched downward, removing tens of thousands of tons of rock. A single fatal strike of a heavy iron chisel could ruin a load-bearing pillar and compromise the entire mountain. This means the exact geometric layout, the structural load-bearing points, and the final aesthetic design had to be completely mathematically mapped out before a single tool ever touched the rock. Once the raw structure was in place, master craftsmen took over. They transformed blank rock walls into intricate visual encyclopedias, chiseling highly detailed stone chariot wheels and vast mythological scenes. While ramps and pulleys handled the weight, the finer work required a resource modern construction rarely allows: an immense, uninterrupted span of years. Today, we measure construction in months. In antiquity, an ambitious temple project was designed for decades. Often, the very kings who commissioned the blueprints died long before the final stone was polished. These megastructures are the result of simple physics multiplied by an extraordinary amount of human patience. This requires a kind of psychological endurance that is difficult to grasp today. Entire generations of artisans dedicated their lives to carving a single corridor, fully aware they would never see the finished sanctuary. It's easy to look back at the past and assume that because people lacked electricity, they were somehow less intelligent or capable. But the evidence sitting in the bedrock proves otherwise. These temples function as permanent records of human coordination. They show exactly what happens when a society channels its absolute physical and mental focus toward a single, enduring objective. If these builders could solve the logistics of moving mountains with ropes and ramps, it raises questions about what other complex systems of antiquity have since been lost to history. You're watching Untold Indian Stories. If you enjoy diving into the mechanics of history's greatest mysteries, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.